Hey, today I want to talk about a 1987 film directed by Paul Verhoeven called Robocop. Now I know Robocop needs no introduction. Robocop has a huge fan following. Even though this film is an R-rated and sort of a cult film, it's not a cult film anymore because with all this grounded work, this film has been just shot to mainstream status, and Robocop is now a mainstay of popular culture, like being featured in video games in Fortnite and Mortal Kombat. So I want to just get away from that. I wanted to visit the original Robocop. Now I have had a very pretty nostalgic relationship with Robocop because my mother is actually quite fond of Robocop, but I don't think she saw what Paul Verhoeven's Robocop, the actual Robocop, is, because I believe in the 1990s there was a Robocop TV show and where things were significantly toned down and Robocop was portrayed in a more family friendly manner. So when I saw this film, I kind of knew some things about it, but I haven't actually seen myself Robocop in any concrete literary form. So this was my first introduction to Robocop. And to summarize this, I would say that this is a 1.5 hour film. Peter Weller getting shot the hell out. I'm not kidding you. Peter Weller actually gets shot like more than 100 times in this film. It's like when he's human, when he's Robocop, he's just getting shot at. That's a very funny thing to me, and it's like they try to subvert this in a way as like heroes never get shot or never gets the bullet, and it's just all the different thing in here because all the bad guys and the villains or all the thugs, they're like always shooting at him and always getting him. So that's something different. Now I found that this film, for me at least, took a little bit stuttering to get started. I would have liked this if this film just started from where we see Robocop in the first shot, he's doing some badass things, and then we slowly unravel who he is and how he is, because I think that could have been easily conveyed through his own understanding, sort of like a memento thing, if you will, where he gets to know about his memory and the who he was. I don't think we as an audience needed to start this film with Alex Murphy, who he was, because let's face it, Alex Murphy was not that interesting character, and they don't do actually that much with this character anyway. So I think that thing could have been glossed over. I think they should have just started this film with Robocop and then tried to do this in a very way that he has regaining his memory or through dreams, or they could have used some surrealist imaging. But other than that, this film is a pretty violent film. It's messed up violent, and there's just a lot of blood in this film, just a lot of blood, because the rating they got, I think, is R-rated. They sure as hell wanted to make it sure that they get that rating and deserve that rating. They don't want to pull any punches. Like when Peter Weller, the guy, Alex Murphy, gets shot, he's just shot blood to hell, and there's a lot of blood. And then after that, any kind of murder or any kind of scenes and any kind of explosions, there's like a lot of blood. The violence is pretty gory. And to the end, there are also elements with a lot of body horror or body gore with one henchman. So I found that also thing to be quite interesting because the film I saw, The Fly, which is actually considered a masterpiece of horror, I didn't find that body horror element to be quite effective. But even with this thing where the body horror element is like 3 or 4 minutes long, but it stays with you because at the end this guy just gets crushed over and it's just a whole thing. You should watch it. So now I believe that as Robocop has been a cultural mainstay, this film actually takes a lot of inspiration, or at least will get compared to other films, because the primary reason that I saw this film is because this film is dubbed as a cyberpunk film, and I'm a huge fan of cyberpunk genre. Yeah, this certainly have some cyberpunk elements, but I don't necessarily count it as this definitive cyberpunk, even though you can get to the point because the screenwriter who wrote actually was working on Blade Runner when he conceived this film and then later sold this film. So it all makes sense. And of course this film will always get compared to Terminator because Paul Verhoeven's next film, I think, Total Recall, was also with Arnold Schwarzenegger. This is like a typical Arnold Schwarzenegger film, but actually they couldn't cast Arnold Schwarzenegger because if Arnold Schwarzenegger actually wore the suit, they call him, he's like look like Michelin Man or the Pillsbury Doughboy. So that's kind of funny. But this is a very role that is tailor-made for Stallone or Arnold, even though Stallone actually went on to star as Judge Dredd. So these are all the same kind of film. So the question is how Robocop actually finds his voice. through its heart, I think RoboCop is a revenge drama, but I don't think it's the kind of revenge drama that works without the sci-fi or the RoboCop element. This is not a good revenge drama film because we do not see his family, we do not see him that much emotion from him, and there's not that much vested interest, or that is just detached from the personal touch that you need in a revenge drama, for like in Rolling Thunder or in John Wick. But on the other hand, there's a lot of corporate things in here, and that is kind of weird. Like people are dying and people are getting murdered in corporate offices, and big things are happening and happening. That's like a weird choice to me. I know that thematically it makes sense, but doing so much things in a corporate office, it seems just kind of off to me. I think they should have opted out for a different thing. But besides than that, I think RoboCop is a good film. It's really a good film. I wouldn't count it as a masterpiece, but I would count it as a very strong film to pave the way for other sci-fi films or other cyberpunk genre films to thrive. And this is just a really, really strong start. So if anybody wants to see, I can definitely recommend it, and I think you'll enjoy this film. I give this film a 4 out of 5.